We've got into this philosophical considerations which might have some interest, but it's not particularly useful from the point of view of self-enquiry. However, I think in this last paragraph, the Yoga Vasishta gets us back on track. If this is not realized as atma-shakti, the energy of the self or infinite consciousness, it creates a delusion of world appearance. So in other words, if the Cit-shakti, which determines the nature of each object, and which we can understand as that which leads to conceptualization of the cognitive process, if we don't step back from that and realize that that is actually consciousness doing its thing, if we don't realize it's the atma-shakti, the energy of the self or infinite consciousness, then we get caught up in notions of a world appearance. If it is realized as the truth, which is infinite consciousness, that realization destroys all sorrow. The non-seeing of this truth is known as avidya or ignorance. Such ignorance is the cause of the world appearance, which is the source of all the other phenomena. Even as the arising of the first thought disturbs sleep and ends it, the slightest awakening of inner intelligence destroys ignorance. When one approaches darkness with light in hand, wishing to behold it, the darkness vanishes. When the light of inquiry is turned on ignorance, ignorance disappears. When one begins to inquire, what is I in this body composed of blood, flesh, bone, etc., at once ignorance ceases to be. That which has a beginning has an end. When all things that have a beginning are ruled out, what remains is the truth, which is the cessation of avidya or ignorance. You may regard it as something or as nothing. That is to be sought which is, when ignorance has been dispelled. The sweetness one tastes is not experienced by another. Listening to someone's description of the cessation of avidya does not give rise to your enlightenment. Each one has to realize it. In short, avidya is the belief that there exists a reality which is not Brahman or consciousness. When there is a certain knowledge that this is indeed Brahman, avidya ceases. So we end up back at Brahman. A lot of this last paragraph, I would say, relates to spiritual practice. You have your first glimpse of the truth, and that weakens your belief in your notions. And once you've had that glimpse into the truth, then you practice self-enquiry, and you become more at home in this truth.